and his teammates. This has been the starting lineup for Coach Larrañaga for the vast majority of the season. For Georgia Tech, it's their starting lineup brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. And this is the 6th different starting lineup for Josh Pastner this season.
And it's not like guys have moved in for 1 or 2 games. 8 of the 9 guys have started at least 6 games. So they're just looking for some continuity.
Miami in the traveling green owns the opening tip. Teams played twice a season ago. Both wins for the Canes here in Atlanta and in Coral Gables. Trying to go up top, alley-oop, Wong to Jordan Miller.
And that's a play that Georgia Tech went over defensively in shoot-around today, and they came up and they gave up a dunk on the first play. And Jim Larrañaga talked about recognizing the different zones and different defenses that Georgia Tech will play. A great start for the Hurricanes.
Miller with a thunderous alley-oop jam to start the game. Poplar with Peck on the run after the turnover. It goes out of bounds, and that'll be Georgia Tech basketball. Back to the Jackets.
See, just very little pressure on the passer. Nobody in the back line to pick that up. And in the games that we've done, Jordan Miller's had some big games.
Georgia Tech tries to go inside. Terry trying to muscle his way against Pack. Second chance for the Yellow Jackets, and they get it to fall with Rodney Howard.
They just threw it over his head.
Pack a little shaken up on that play. They went right at him. Had a little bit of a size difference with Terry trying to post him up.
Had the ball. You got to see that. They just
Pack holding that jaw in some discomfort, Mike.
Get to the block.
And it's a basketball play. I mean, Terry's going up through him for the shot.
Talked about Nigel Pack at the top of the broadcast. 12 points per game. Omier in the lane. He got hit. Howard picks up the foul.
And they're eventually going to get to a 3-out, 2-in type of alignment. I'm talking about Miami, and you'll see Omier and Miller both. They'll play high, low post together. Both of them very good to have in the middle of that zone.
That is Miller, too strong. Howard had it for a moment, knocked around. And taken by the Yellow Jackets as Kelly brings it up. Came off the bench in their most recent game against Virginia in a losing effort with 20 points. Yeah. Kelly launching a 3, and it's all net.
And Tom, I always look at the guys and how they're playing in ACC play, and boy, Kelly has really upped his game. 17 points a game, but also 46% from 3.
Overall this season, Mike, 40% from beyond the arc, and that's his 31st made of the season. Omier on the business end for the second time, and this time it works.
They are really trying to work over that zone defense with the lobs to the back end. And Omier is a guy, he's such a great offensive rebounder. You can throw the lob up, and he's going to get it.
Omier, the transfer from Arkansas State, played his prep ball at Miami Prep in Florida. The angle was calculated there for the bucket for Georgia Tech, as it was Moore.
Good. You ready?
And he seemed to have settled in. He started the last 8. He's one of those guys who's been out, but he's been consistent, and his number's pretty good, Tom. 12 points a game.
Yeah, he did struggle in that game against Virginia. Just 2 points and 1 rebound. They had been in double digits, as you mentioned, Mike, 7 straight.
But they had a lot of people who struggled in that Virginia game. This is, this would be a huge mental health win for Georgia Tech, and it's their basketball. This is the last game of a 4-game homestand. They've lost their 2 ACC games here, so they need to start feeling pretty good about themselves.
Coach Pastner in his 7th season here in Atlanta. Georgia Tech in the early going, 3 of 4 from the floor. Coach Pastner told us they just need to avoid the big run by the opposition. Which, that's easy to say, Mike, but it really has happened in their most recent losses.
Yeah, I mean, he's basically identified 25 minutes of bad basketball, and there's Pack, our guy that we featured at the top.
Seems to be okay after some contact inside on a previous sequence.
See, guys are never affected on the offensive end by anything that happens. They get a little shaken up on the defensive end, but if he gets the ball, he's going to put it up.
A good rotation. Inside the miss in tight for Moore. Pack ends up with it.
Easy miss right at the rim.
Pack is the leading three-point shooter. He's now made 26 on 71 tries. After that 3 on the last trip down the court for the Canes. That's Omier creating space off the backboard.
Really does a nice job. He can put the ball on the floor if he gets out to 18 feet. I would almost invite him to shoot jump shots out there. He's just so much more dangerous inside.
Turnover. Wong up ahead. Omier did well not to travel. And then a little mid-range came up short.
Well, you're right. He almost got passed into a turnover.
Terry missed.
2 layups now that Georgia Tech has missed early on.
High-flying attempt from Terry, and he couldn't convert.
Pack does a nice job of driving you down off the dribble.
And Norchad Omier averages almost 14 per game. It's time for tonight's Keys to the Game, brought to you by your local Ford dealer with Mike Jaminski.
Yeah, from Miami, they talked about defending the cutters. Georgia Tech plays the Princeton-style offense, so they spread the floor, look to get backdoor cuts on you. And for Georgia Tech, value the ball. Miami's so very good at scoring off of your mistakes, especially getting steals and getting out in the open floor.
Coach Pastner led this program to the 2021 ACC Tournament Championship. Played in Greensboro with a win over Florida State in that title game.
That was the last top 25 team they've beaten.
And this year so far, as they turn it over, Mike, for the 3rd time, they're 7-6 and 0-3 in conference play. Had a chance against Virginia on Saturday, but lost 74-56. Yellow Jackets have the ball back. Long range 3, and it's Coleman.
And he's a guy, you know, he had a quick start to the year. I think he could be up around the 14, 15 point a game range, you know, Tom, and that would really give a big lift to this team. He's doubled his average from last year, but I think he could be doing a little bit more.
He's right around 9.5 points per game this season for the sophomore from Memphis, Tennessee, trying to close on Wong. That's a long rebound. Terry and Miller fighting for it. Will stay at this end of the floor.
Here's the play. Just really nobody stepping up to stop the basketball. He gets to run into a nice shot in rhythm. But after going for those lobs, Miami for the last couple of possessions, some long early threes.
Overall, the Canes are the best shooting team by percentage in the ACC. Wong again too strong.
But it's funny, neither one of these teams gets a lot of their offense from the 3. They're both really good 2-point shooting teams.
Georgia Tech shoots 44% as a team. Body of work this season. That's 12th in the conference. Sets from close range, and it's 2 more for Howard.
Off to a quick start. He got the nice, easy offensive rebound to get him started, and then showing a little range on his jump shot.
4 points for Rodney Howard, senior. Poplar, another 3 attempt.
Yeah, I think right now we get the offensive rebound, but right now I think Miami is bailing them out by taking those long threes. Yeah, there's everybody going to the shooter, and you know, you set a good screen like that, invariably you find yourself open.
So Pack comes out of the game. Canes have missed their last 4 field goal attempts. 3 of those have been 3-point tries. 2 of them from Wong as he looks over at Coach Larinaga.
Benzie Joseph's a big part of this team, and the shot clock running down. I don't know if anybody recognizes it.
Joseph past 2 defenders. That came up short. Up top for the board, Howard.
Yeah, that was a rushed possession after they realized the clock was on their back.
Coleman trying to work against Poplar in the paint. Terry spins, got Omier in the air, and he drops it in.
He's another guy. He's been kind of slow to get into ACC competition, a transfer from Gardner-Webb.
We're good. We're home. We're home.
Played 3 years in that program. 43 career starts at Gardner-Webb.
Yeah, averaged 14. You know, so he can score the ball. He just has to get used to this level.
Good.
Averages just over 7 points per game. That is Miller.
Got to be aggressive with the...
4 points for Miller, Mike.
Yeah, really good find. We talked about him now operating in the middle of that zone.
Miller had a season-high 25 points in a home win against NC State. Miami is 4-0 in conference play, and that's a smooth jumper from Moore, and he's got 4.
Yeah, Moore and Howard doing some nice work in the paint area. No real shot blocker out there for Miami.
Turnover. Terry on the run. Papa trying to get back. Double-fisted rim rocker from Lance Terry. Maybe some shades of Jordan Usher right there from Lance Terry.
And also they did a nice job getting back in transition after the make.
Coleman is open for 3. Got it right back. Reloads. He knew that was off. And he chases it down.
He knows where his misses are going. You got that locked in.
Georgia Tech is on an 11-2 run.
You talked about them being on the wrong side of runs early, and now they're on the right side.
Couple of threes from Miles Kelly and a timeout on the court. 14-2 run, Georgia Tech. And a 10-point lead.
Here's the look, and we talked about their ability to get out in the open floor. Nice finish by Mr. Terry.
And they convert off with a steal, Mike, in thunderous fashion.
Yeah, they've been actually doing well in the half court and then getting out and running too. Josh Pastner would like to see more of that. But really solid there, good execution. They're getting some good scoring inside, and their three-point shooting has been on point as well. 3 of 6 to start the game.
Georgia Tech has made 4 of its last 5 field goal attempts. You mentioned, Mike, that three-pointers not really where these teams find a lot of their points. For Miami in its early three-point struggles, they're 10th in the ACC in three-point shooting, and across the way for Georgia Tech, they're 12th, just 33% for the entire season so far from 3.
Well, and you look at it, we talked about trying to find some continuity and all the different people who have started. Georgia Tech hasn't substituted in this game yet, and Josh Pastner likes what he's seeing, and why not? You got a 21-11 lead, and you still got the same starting 5 out on the floor.
Guys on the floor producing so far for Coach Pastner, 45 years old.
And when he started telling me, we were talking today about him feeling old, I was ready to punch him.
Yeah, man.
45, come on.
Three-pointer, another miss. There's Pack.
And these are, they're not just towing the line, these are deep threes that this team is taking.
Omier trying to work the interior. Howard stood his ground. Still fouled him. Omier to the line for the old school three-point play chance. Second on Howard.
Here's the look, and this is the thing with Omier. You have to be ready to go up after the ball. It was good initial defense, but he's one of the best offensive rebounders in the country.
And that is why, Mike, he is tonight's Hardy's star to watch. Norchad Omier.
Now, you talked about how good a shooting team Miami is. Put that on top of him getting 4 offensive rebounds a game. That puts a lot of pressure on you. You either see the numbers just under 10 rebounds per, and 40% of those offensive.
So first free throw of the game and a miss from Omier, 70% from the line on the season. He's also the top shooter by percentage in the league, 62%. Now granted, a lot of those shots are close to the rim, but still he's the top shooter by percentage. Kelly got a couple of threes, looking for a conventional bucket. The tip no good. Fight for it. Several players around the basketball.
And they're going to call a foul on Omier.
It was Franklin in the middle of it for Georgia Tech, fighting against 3 green shirts.
And Georgia Tech is actually, they've been very active on the offensive glass. And there, yeah, it is. You got the good call. It was the reach over the back.
First on Omier. Georgia Tech Trying to snap a mini 2-game losing streak. They've lost 3 of their last 4, and those were ACC opponents. Terry has nowhere to go. Shot clock's at 2.
And Omier gets a second foul now, and 2 fouls in about 30 seconds, Tom. In the same way, going on and off, trying to get a defensive rebound. And you know the thing, and we talked about with Jim Larinaga, this, he will not play guys with 2 fouls in the first half. So that's probably it for the rest of the half for Omier, and that's a big miss. And then Georgia Tech takes advantage of that with a nice shot inside. That's a huge foul in this game.
So Kelly now has 8 points. He leads all scorers so far in this first half. That bounces away. Taken by Lance Terry. Trying to glide in. Lost the handle out of bounds towards the band. And it'll stay with Georgia Tech.
And these are, it's going to be all of a sudden very important minutes for Anthony Walker, who's out there, averages about 10 minutes a game, and he's going to get that here in the first half.
Walker, number 1 in green. Moore with the shot clock at 6. Reversing direction, not high enough on the square. And the Yellow Jackets unable to save it there with Franklin.
And you know, as well as Georgia Tech's been playing him, you got to be a little bit greedy. They've missed 3 layups now inside.
Back up! Good, Lance. You're gonna match it.
Joseph with the basketball. Now Wong. Miami's missed 9 of its last 11 shot attempts.
Look how far out that zone is playing.
Pack. He's got the range.
Well, he's been the only one with the range. He's the only one who's made
That's
it 3
right.
for Miami.
He's got 2 of them. He's up to 27 made on the season. That leads the club. Transfer from Kansas State. First team all Big 12 a season ago, and the most improved player in that league. Jim Larinaga pushing the right buttons in the portal. And Pack has it. Long just turns and fires.
Well, and he got Pack and he kept Wong from the portal. So working it both ways.
Good point. Terry in the corner. He rips the ropes for Georgia Tech.
He's had 18 points total in his 3 ACC games, but he's starting to find a little bit of rhythm here this evening.
He's got 7 now, Mike, after that 3 ball. His 14th of the season. Gliding in was Miller, athletic, 6 points.
And you've got to know that's a scouting report. He's a left-hander. He likes to get to that side. It was a good finish.
Season high 25 and a home win against NC State.
He had 47 in those 2 games against Cornell back-to-back.
Cornell
off since then.
The midweek game, 107-105 victory against the Big Red. What a game that was when Wong had 36 points. It's the most any player scored in the ACC this season. It's off the backboard and in for more.
Not only that, 3 seconds left on the shot clock as well.
6 points, Jalen Moore in the first half.
Look how far out their defense extended. Nice steal. And Josh Pastner wants a foul.
Well, that was Moore and Wong struggling for the ball. Jalen Moore had it knocked away. The regather and the bucket. And the 10. Yellow Jackets with the 10-point lead on their home court with 7:50 to go in the first half. Time for tonight's Fresh Market. Discover the best. And in his 12th season on that Miami Hurricanes bench, Jim Larinaga. And how about this, Mike? He is a candidate for the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame.
And will be inducted into Miami's Hall of Fame.
That's right.
It'll be a double-double for him this year. And, of course, 709 wins, none more emotional than number 700, which came against his alma mater, Providence. And the thing, their only loss this year is the next day after a very emotional night against Maryland.
Yeah, they beat Providence on November 19th, 74-64 in the Hall of Fame tip-off. in Uncasville, Connecticut. As Mike mentioned, the next night was their only loss this season. He's got 239 career wins as the Canes head coach, and that's the most in school history. There's one other distinction, Mike, that he holds alone. He is the only Division I coach with 100 or more conference wins at 3 different schools.
That's just and you know what? You wouldn't know. Obviously, you've had to play. You've got a lot of years on you to get all those accolades and those numbers, but still very, very enthusiastic about the game, about the process, about shoot around today. Just wonderful to see.
Head coach at Bowling Green, and then he took George Mason to the Final Four in 2006. Shot clock winding down. Miller able to beat it.
That's what I'd like to see them do over this next stretch is work that defense and get some things inside, not settle for jump shots. And especially they've got their best offensive rebounder on the bench. Got to get inside.
Yeah, Omier on that Miami bench with 2 personals. The Canes have now hit 4 of their last 5 after only making 1 of their previous 10. So trying to turn around the trend and getting the ball back and trailing by 8 with 7:13 to go in the first half. So glad that you're with us for ACC basketball from Atlanta. Omier on the bench with those 2 personal fouls. One of the new faces to the program this season. 8-point lead for Georgia Tech. Tom Wormy, Mike Jaminski, our outstanding ACC basketball production crew. Wishing you a very happy and prosperous new year as we forge forward in the ACC.
Well, Franklin at 6'7" is the tallest guy out there defensively, but he is 3rd in the conference in blocks.
Somehow it got to Miller and he goes in for the jam.
Sometimes the ball finds you, and Miller, you know, he knows that his front court mate is over on the bench, so he's picked up the scoring.
Miller's got 11, Mike. That's now 9 games in a row, double-figure scoring for Jordan Miller. From the corner, that one rattles out for Sturdivant.
Well, doesn't it look like the offense has really settled down since Joseph has come into the game?
It's a great option to have if you're Jim Larinaga, and then Pack with a high arcing 3.
You can see no green jerseys at all on the offensive glass there.
Georgia Tech 3-pointer. Miles Kelly at his 3rd of the ball game.
How about 5 of 10 now from behind the arc for the Yellow Jackets?
Kelly shoots a robust 40% from beyond the arc for the season.
Yeah, he's a guy you definitely trust.
As you might imagine, he's the best 3-point shooter for this Yellow Jacket team. Shot clock down to 4 for the Canes. That 3 rattles home. How about Anthony Walker?
1 for 11 coming in on the year.
Did it right in front of the Georgia Tech bench.
And in the place of Norchad Omier, 2 big bonus points.
Walker makes 1 3, Mike, and he exceeds his season average in scoring of 2.5 points. That was deflected. Joseph colliding with the shooter, Kelly. And Joseph will get the foul, his first.
And there's going to be 3 free throws. See, if you're going to challenge this, he just went right through his body. You've got to have a bit of an angle if you're going to go by it. And I'll tell you what, Georgia Tech has had some very good looks from the 3, and you know, for Miami, they might have been testing them early, seeing if they had the shooting eye, but now they're going to have to defend a little bit more.
First Georgia Tech free throw of the evening. There you go. There's the breakdown. Best free throw shooter for the Jackets as well, Miles Kelly. Wong getting set to check in. A.J. Casey is number 0. Look at that. That's some quick work. They just updated Kelly to 12 points. I'd love to see that graphic again with 13 points on it.
We've got a great crew down here.
Kelly shoots 85% from the free throw line. Look at that. Now he's up to 13 points, Mike. He's now 26 of 30 from the free throw line. So that's 14 total points for Kelly. He's going to get a breather. Sophomore from Stone Mountain, Georgia.
And he's like, wait, what are you taking me out for?
Yeah.
I'm rolling here. I'm good, Coach. We got a timeout coming in another minute.
He could be back in soon as we...
Yeah, I think they just want to get him to that under 4.
About to cross the 5-minute threshold of the first half. Entertaining, high scoring, high flying, end-to-end action. Georgia Tech mixing in. 3-point shot as well. Wong loses the handle. Able to recover. Shot clock's at 5. In the corner. Pack saves it. Got to look at that clock. Did he get it away? Doesn't matter. Missed the shot. In the corner. 3-pointer. Lance Terry.
They're getting contributions from everybody right now. And the thing is, the last 3 games, they've outscored their team 40-0 in fast break points. But Georgia Tech is getting out and running here in the first 20 minutes.
Double digits for Terry. He's got 10 points. Already way over his average of 7.1 per game. Wong stepping in.
And he has not scored in the game yet.
He's missed all his 3-point attempts. Third chance for Casey. Right up against Franklin.
Yeah, he's going to get called for the foul.
First on Franklin. Lance Terry. Open in the corner for his second 3-ball from the corner pocket. And high in ACC points in this game with 10. Just connected on a 3-pointer. Norchad Omier walking back to the Larinaga bench. He's got the 2 personal fouls he left a few minutes ago, Mike.
Well, and it's, you look at it, you know, a 12-point deficit, and if you're Georgia Tech, really, you know, you can't get defensive right now. You want to try to build on this lead, not let Miami go on one of those runs that they've had early on in the season.
A.J. Casey, the freshman from Chicago, Illinois, at the free throw line. Not a whole lot of experience at the line. 4 of 8 to start the night. Made the first.
Well, I mean, because of the foul trouble with Omier, that you're getting, you know, Casey will come out of the game right now. But, you know, they had him. Anthony Walker is going to have to play some big minutes in this first half. Knocked down a 3 earlier.
One of the 3 made threes in the game for Miami. 3 of 11. Georgia Tech 6 of 11 on 3-point chances. Sturdivant dropped it low, up and under. A little too much spin on the attempt from Smith. Certainly had the elevation. That was Pack dribbling into trouble, but a foul is called, and that's Sturdivant. First on him.
Yeah, both teams sitting at 4 personal fouls. And talk about the Princeton offense. They're looking for backdoors right there, but it was actually Miller coming over and or Walker coming over and helping that forced the miss.
This is Miller in traffic. Fed it back out to Wong. Still trying to get in the box score. Long rebound. Walker. Wong. How did he do that? It looked like he lost it on the way up.
Yeah, no, that was by far the hardest attempt that he's had. He was able to finish through the foul. And watch this. He misses their first shot, and then nice job not settling for the jump shot there, but going inside, and that was a terrific and one.
Miami had been one of its last 5 shot attempts, and now Wong at the free throw line. 83% of the season. So first bucket and free throw, and a 3-point play from Isaiah Wong. One of the finalists for the Wooden Award. Just announced tonight, Mike. One of 5 ACC players in the top 25 of those finalists.
And one of only 25 in the country, so a very elite company.
He is the Canes' leading scorer on the season. Just over 17 points per game for Isaiah Wong. That is 7th in the ACC. We're inside of 3 minutes to go in our first half. Can't find it from 3-point distance so far, Mike.
Yeah, I think he's, you know, and they're actually laying off him a little bit and forcing that jump shot.
Terry with a quick first step.
I talked about him taking a little while to settle into ACC play. He looks very comfortable right now.
Terry, who made his 7th start of the season tonight for Josh Pastner. Georgia Tech trying to run. They don't have the numerical advantage necessarily. Walker high for the rebound.
Yeah, I think they would have been better suited to pull that one back out, wait for some help.
And it results on a basket at the other end.
Yeah, just an easy layup.
They need those points. Miller's got 12. Wong is 0 of 5 from 3-point tries.
And see, just like that, it's a 7-point game.
Don't forget, coming up at halftime, we'll have highlights and stats. We'll go around the ACC. We're one of 4 games tonight. There were 3 yesterday. We'll touch upon those as well. Knocked away to Pack. Weaving his way past Sturdivant. Lost it up for Wong. That was a tough chance.
Should have come down with it.
Terry, hesitation. Poplar in the passing lane, and then he stepped on the sideline. He might have had a chance to hit Wong, who had sprung free down the middle of the court, but he stepped on the sideline.
It was, I mean, a good defensive play, and he came up with the steal, but his momentum carried him out.
So Coach Larinaga, because of that Omier foul, has had to shuffle the deck. Favor Ire comes in, number 12 in green. With Norchad Omier still on that bench. He's at the bottom of your screen there. He's been there for a long time, number 15. 1:31 to go in the first half. Time for a message from Coyote before we continue.
In my experience, if you work the land, you got to be a jack of all trades. You got to have a little bit of optimism and a whole lot of get-go.
1:31 to go in the first half.
Now, if you consider, I'm trying to paint a good picture for Miami here. Wong has got 3 points to this point, Tom, and Omier has been out since the 10.5-minute mark. So those two really have not been a factor, and it's a 7-point game with a minute and a half right now. So Jim Larinaga, you know, things could be a lot worse.
And Omier's teammates on the floor have gone on a 7-2 run over the last 2.5 minutes. Close that gap. It's been as much as 12 for Georgia Tech as far as its largest lead in the first 20 minutes. Shot clock to 10 for the Yellow Jackets. Howard lost it to Wong. Sprints up the court. Trying to shed a defender. Offensive foul.
Lowered shoulder. And just, you know, he's just really wants to get some momentum going into the second half. But pretty good defense off the dribble. Watch right here. Watch that shoulder. That's going to get a call every time. And boy, Terry's been having a good game both ends of the floor.
Kelly leads the way with 14 points for Georgia Tech. Lance Terry right behind him with 12, a season high in ACC play. Spin for Moore. Ire was waiting for him.
Yeah, nice defense there.
Ire seeing action in just his 9th game this season. Freshman from Nigeria. Played his prep ball at Bishop McNamara in Maryland. In tight miss from Miller. Went out of bounds, and it went off of Georgia Tech.
With 20 seconds on the shot clock on the recycle.
Final 30 seconds. Wong, who also struggled in the win against Notre Dame, he was 0 for 4 from 3-point distance. Pack way behind the line. I don't know, Mike, 3 or 4 feet behind the line?
At least. That's been the story of the half, though. Those shots against that extended zone have been really deep.
9 points for Pack. All 3-pointers. Ray extending the defense and committing the foul.
But, you know, not a bad situation. You've got to recycle with 2.6 to go. You know, they're not in the bonus right now, so you're not giving up free throws. That is from the connector. Not too far.
That's way beyond 22 feet, 1 3/4 inches away. Final seconds. Kelly, scissor kick midair, side rim.
Yeah, that was a great foul by Irie in the end, and all the things working against them. Only a 4-point deficit for the Canes.
It's because Miami, Mike, went on a 10-2 run in the last 4 minutes of the half. Some high-flying aerials, some three-point shot. The refurbishment of the Alexander Coliseum.
See if they can start Mr. Kelly off again. He had a fabulous first half.
3 of 6 from 3 and 14 points from Miles Kelly, leading scorer for the Yellow Jackets this season. Turnaround. Second chance. Over the rim and good. Moore has it for Georgia Tech, and he's got 8.
Well, he got off to a quick start at the beginning of the game.
Good cheat.
Jalen Moore was 3 of 6 from the floor in the first half. This is by far the most points that Georgia Tech has scored in a half in an ACC game. Omier on the baseline.
Yeah, they would love for him to settle for that shot in this game. And we talked about those other 3 ACC games for Georgia Tech. They averaged 25 points a game in those first 3 in the first half.
That's number 3 on Omier, Mike.
And he looked a little bit out of sorts right now, and you know, he's kind of looking around a little bit dazed right now. Jim Larinaga, for the moment, going to stay with him.
Big first half for Lance Terry with 12 points. Had a high-flying jam. Knocked down a couple of threes. This is for 3. Comes off to Miller. Checks his flank. Pack steps into a 3 ball. Miller preserves the possession to Wong. And he's got nowhere to go. Pack to Omier, and he got undercut and fell awkwardly.
Finished the play, but came down hard. But it's a very unselfish play. Why, that's just, there's a real helpless feeling when you're up in the air like that. Came down hard. He's grabbing that right hip.
So the player that made contact with Omier was Coleman. Coleman got the foul. Omier will go to the line, and the officials are going to take a closer look. So Pack put it up on the rim for Omier, who was able to finish off the play. And so Brent Hampton and Jamie Luckey, who's on the right of your screen, going to the monitor to check the previous play. They're joined by Matt Potter as our officiating crew for this evening.
And here's a look at what they're looking at. Very unselfish play. And it did look like Coleman just kind of went right underneath him.
I wonder if Coleman thought maybe it was going to be a shot, like, and he was trying to box out and then hit Omier, collided with him awkwardly. I just don't know. Because initially I thought it was a shot attempt, but then Omier came out of nowhere and grabbed that basketball.
And that would be, you know, for a guy who's as good an offensive rebounder like that, you're just looking to keep him off the glass as much as you can.
So we're being told this play will result in a flagrant 1 on Coleman. Jamie Luckey has just given us the indication.
And what the call was is that he made no play on the ball. It was just a, you know, you saw it. He was backing and he just went right underneath him. So it's going to be 2 shots and possession, so possibly a big swing right here.
Yeah, the key word being unnecessary in the flagrant 1 definition.
There's the lob. There you see Coleman just is that extra little when he stuck his butt out, and he just Omier defenseless in that in that instance, and he's going to get 2 free throws. Could be a 7-point play. And this in a brief snapshot is kind of a look at Georgia Tech's season. You know, this is a run with no time running off the clock.
Exactly, Mike. Georgia Tech ran into a Virginia run of 25-0 in that game on Saturday, where they lost 74-56 right here at McCamish Pavilion. Most recent game for the Yellow Jackets. So you're right, Mike. That amounted to 4 points from the Omier sequence, and now Pack gets it back.
And 6
hits.
And 6 points. You know, just like that. With virtually no time running off the clock.
Back to double digits now. He's got 11 after that jumper. And that's the 8th time this season for Nigel Pack to score in double digits for the Miami Hurricanes. Working on a 9-game winning streak. They've won 7 straight, Mike, in conference away from Coral Gables, and that ties the school record.
Wow, what a finish.
Coleman puts an end to the 6-0 run.
Yeah, they really needed that basket and a chance for a 3-point play there. And the thing I like about him, I mean, he knocks down a 3, but also very strong, just a great finish through the foul.
Second foul on Wong. Three-point play for the 67% free throw shooter, Debo Coleman. Bensley Joseph, number 4 in green, into the game. Wong stepping back.
Tough shot. You see, and you know, you look at the adjustment coming out of the half, and Jim Larinaga starting Bensley Joseph to get those other 2 guys off the ball. You get Pack and Wong, turn them into scorers.
Wong now 1 of 9 from the floor. He's missed all 6 of his attempts.
And the one that he made was his toughest shot of the night.
It
so
was.
Far.
Shot clock winding down. Omier, and the outlet to Wong.
The half-court offense has not looked as crisp for Georgia Tech here in the second half.
Alley-oop play behind the back line of defense. Miller. Some mid-air contact and a foul against Georgia Tech.
It's going to be 2 shots, and now Miami, you know, you can go back to that lob. You've established that. The referees are looking for the undercut now.
So Moore picked up the foul for Georgia Tech. Miller's at the free throw line. Let's get a message from Coyote Tractor.
In my experience, if you work the land, you got to be a jack of all trades. You got to have a little bit of optimism and a whole lot of get-go.
Jordan Miller, second year in the Miami program, 3 years at George Mason. Omier to the bench.
Well, and there's the other thing. With Joseph on the floor, you got that calming influence, but he's guarding Miles Kelly. And he's strong enough that he can negate his size.
14 points for Kelly. 3 missed from Coleman. Pack goes to the floor. Moore dives after it. Georgia Tech ball.
Yeah, I mean, you don't mind that. Those are hustle plays going after the loose ball.
Meanwhile, Mike, the Canes have cut the lead to 1. Georgia Tech led by as many as 12 in that first half. Brief 2-point lead. Long went flying. Kelly shoots over the defense and misses. Follow from Moore.
Foul on the play.
Jamie Lucky on top of it.
Jordan Miller picks up the foul. Only his first. And Georgia Tech has had some success on the offensive glass. Get the finish right there, but still good work inside. This again with the foul issues that Miami trying to figure out a way without Omier on the floor.
Josh Pastner in a conversation with Matt Potter.
I don't think he convinced him.
I don't think he was asking him if he liked his tie, although that's very nice. You don't see many ties anymore on coaches.
Ever since COVID, the coat and tie, which I miss.
Tell you what,
a little old school.
If they pull off the win against number 12 Miami, he might have a tuxedo on the next game Saturday against Florida State.
At the very least, he'll have that same outfit on. We won't make note of that, though, if that happens.
3-point lead, Georgia Tech. Ray.
Wow.
Off the mark.
Okay, he doesn't play a whole lot, to be pretty aggressive looking for his own shot.
Hand off to Coleman. Plenty of time to operate. Takes a tough shot off the backboard. Hack does not have the numerical advantage. Flies in and then hits the stanchion. And he's clutching the right ankle briefly. Terry picked up the foul for Georgia Tech. So the hustle play from Pack is going to result in a trip to the free throw line at half, and that was Pack who went down, and Moore might have caught that right ankle, Mike.
It looked like he caught the back of the foot, so it wasn't as catastrophic as it could have been. He looks no worse for the wear right there. Georgia Tech entering the ACC my senior year.
Wow,
Duke. Dating myself.
Alongside the All-American from Duke.
And then 2 years later, Mr. Cremins shows up on the scene and does a good enough job here to get the court named after him.
Worked out well.
Yes, sir. Final Four in 1990.
Bobby Cremins, I know he's watching us from somewhere, always keeping an eye on the Jackets.
The thing about this half is that Georgia Tech is not nearly getting the quality look of shot that they did in that first half.
You want to stay tuned for the fast break presented by your local Ford dealer. That's coming up momentarily. Couple for Nigel Pack from the free throw line. Here's to shaking off the ill effects of that collision underneath, and that's Poplar. He got fouled.
But how about Bensley Joseph making that play alert? Just kind of a lazy inbounds pass. He gets the steal, and they get at the line. And Miami's doing a lot of scoring with no time going off the clock. That's just great defense right there. Good recognition. And those are the things, you know, we talk about starting a lot. We talked about Georgia Tech's starting lineup. Bensley Joseph's a finisher. He's going to be there at the end for this team.
Smith, Franklin, Sturdivant come in for Georgia Tech. Howard leaves. Moore comes out. Miles Kelly as well. Kelly hasn't scored in the second half. 14 points in the first half. Poplar's at the free throw line. A miss from the line for him, like he did in the first one, and the second one, a rarity. Been 16 of 18 from the line on the season for Wooga Poplar. Terry tried to work baseline and get bumped by Joseph.
And it's in this half, Joseph has been around their best perimeter scorers. You know, so far we not with Kelly out of the game right now that he's got Terry.
Joseph has not scored so far tonight.
But he doesn't have to prove his value to this team.
Omier is playing with the 3 personal fouls. Shot clock's down to 4. Long rebound off the Sturdivant miss. Taken by Georgia Tech and Davon Smith.
And he just out-hustled everybody for the, chasing that 50-50 ball down. Poplar with the foul.
They got him. 55 in green. First.
Now, just an observation, too, in this half, Tom, that Omier, he's not been as dominant in this game because of the foul trouble. He hasn't been the presence on the floor that he normally is. Looks pretty tentative out there right now.
Normally averages about 14 points per game and leads the way for Miami in rebounding with almost 10. 4th in the ACC. Pack wants it. Fails to connect. Jackets on the run. Coleman driving right into Omier. Joseph grabs it. Trying to get to the rim. Terry knocks it out of bounds.
Some pretty good defense at both ends of the floor on players off the drive. And that is a big-time block from a wing.
Georgia Tech needed that defensive play. It had missed its last 7 shots. Miles Kelly rejoins the fray for Georgia Tech. Coleman is out.
Miami doing most of their damage this half at the free throw line, 6 of 8. That's really bailed them out offensively.
Saw Nigel Pack came out of the lineup. This is inside to Miller. Quick release. Omier the tip and tap.
That's his game, and that's the first offensive rebound for a scorer that he's had.
So Omier able to tip that one in. He's got 12 points. The minutes have been limited. Almost came up with a pilfer. Straight away, it's Terry time. Wow. 15 points, Lance Terry. 3 3-point buckets.
Boy, they really need that blossom to continue from him in ACC play. He has been fabulous tonight.
Terry with the response and the 3-pointer. 15 points for Terry. He is now the leading scorer in the game for Georgia Tech. Kelly has 14 and hasn't scored in the second half. Jackets in search of their first ACC win of the season. 0-3 in conference, 7-6 overall. Miami's working on a 9-game winning streak, 4-0 in conference play.
And Isaiah Wong with the ball now, still struggling in this game, 1 of 9.
Sturdivant picks up the foul, 2nd on him.
And that's right now, Miller is the tough matchup for Georgia Tech out on the floor, and they tried to work him into the paint area. He's got a size advantage.
Fight for the loose ball, goes out of bounds. Omier.
And he's looked a lot more aggressive in the last 2-3 minutes.
Just touching the top of his head there, Mike.
He's going to make sure everything's in place. Poplar. One-on-one move. And that's what Miami hadn't been doing. That was just a pickpocket in the open floor. And it's Josh Pastner told us about burning timeouts to stop runs, and he was quick that time. Look at this. It's just Sturdivant was looking to see what was going to happen in the play, and that's just great. That's Miami scoring right there off of their defense.
First basket of the game for Poplar, and it ties us at 49. 4th tie of the game. Miami overcoming a 12-point deficit in the first half, trailed by 4 at halftime. Now we're tied up.
And 13:03 left. Georgia Tech 1 timeout left in the game.
Miami Everybody's perfect at home. They've won all 9 of their home games. 13-1 record, number 12 in the nation.
But championships in this league are won on the road. And Miami 2-0 so far away from home. This would be their 3rd road win early in conference play.
They won at Louisville and at Notre Dame, and it's Terry again. 4 3-pointer and 18 points, Lance Terry.
And now, you know, he's going, and they just have to get Miles Kelly going again as well.
Terry came in averaging about 7 points per game. Joseph the miss, couldn't follow the shot. Georgia Tech 4-on-1 for the moment. Wow, broken up, Mike, and up ahead to Miller, and he lays it in. 16 points for Miller. He leads Miami tonight.
An opportunity missed on that break by Georgia Tech.
Shot clock to 10. Franklin the handoff. Smith the jumper.
Another challenge jump shot.
Chance to take the lead back for the Canes.
And actually, I was watching Kelly in that last offensive possession. He looked really gassed over on the sideline. Wasn't really even part of that play.
Hasn't scored in the second half for Georgia Tech. Leading scorer in the season for the Yellow Jackets. Franklin defended the baseline. Wong, another miss, side rim. Smith hustles it up. This is Kelly. And now Bensley Joseph wants to slow things down a little bit.
Off of that set, they work into a little high-low action.
Poplar. Weak side Omier. Right back out to Joseph. Ripping ropes for Miami.
And how does it start? Offensive rebound for Omier. Everybody gets pulled in. Bensley gets a great look at it.
And the lead is 2. First points of the night for Joseph. Shot clock to 7. Coleman. Wow. Basket and foul.
And that one again was a possession. Didn't look like it was going anywhere. And Coleman makes a big and-one.
Poplar picked up the foul. Coleman will be at the free throw line when we come back, tied at 54. Lance Terry.
Yeah, it was just a block from an unexpected source, really, but a terrific play on off the break on Bensley Joseph. That was in the first half.
Terry's done it offensively as well. 18 points. He's made all 4 of his 3-point tries.
The thing, too, I mean, he's been very efficient, 7 of 10.
It's been a tough night for Wong, though, Mike.
Yeah, he is really straight. Never really has gotten into a rhythm in this game. 0 of 7 from 3, 1 of 10 overall. He does have career-high 4 steals in the game, so doing other things.
He has scored in double digits in all but 2 games this season, and his expression doesn't usually change much.
No.
So you can't count him out as being a factor down the stretch in this game with 10:29 to go.
Well, and to this point, you got to credit Georgia Tech, because whenever Miami, they've clawed back into this game, they've taken leads, but Georgia Tech has always answered.
And they've taken the lead back. 3-point play, Debo Coleman. Isaiah Wong had just 5 points against Florida A&M earlier this season. Pack trying to pick up the slack. That's Wong. Offensive glass. Got 2 or 3 defenders in the air, and he'll earn some free throws.
Well, the zone is extended out so far that he was able to sneak in behind everything, and this would be a good way for him maybe to find some rhythm, get to the free throw line, knock down a couple of shots.
Foul was on Miles Kelly. Long's had one free throw tonight to complete a three-point play. 83% of the season. You could classify that as a concerned look from Jim Larinaga, especially when one of your best free throw shooters misses one.
Yeah, they've left some points at the free throw line, but also, I mean, 5 of 24 from 3, still trying to knock down shots from deep when that hasn't been working for him. And then another pick.
Poplar again, puts it up and in. Poplar for Miami, stealing bucket and a free throw coming.
Well, I'll tell you what, Tom, this is, that one playing the lane a little bit, but they're just, outright theft of the ball. Guys in control, and Poplar's been the one who's been doing it.
Third foul on Coleman. (58-55). And inside of 10 minutes to go in the second half.
Jim Larinaga talks about winning the turnover battle, and it's 13-5 right now. Georgia Tech with 13 turns. Difference in the second half is Miami's turning those into points.
Terry underneath the hoop got fouled. Now Wong and Omier are in the vicinity.
Georgia Tech's got to find that second scorer right now. It's really Lance Terry has been carrying the load in this. It's Omier is at the fourth. And he's going to come out of the game. This is all right. Mark this at 9:36. This is big. These are big minutes for Georgia Tech.
12 points and 7 rebounds for Omier on the evening. 4 personals. Miller getting set to check in. Terry at the free throw line.
So they go a little bit smaller with Miller in the game, so they lose that rebounding presence up front.
Nine of 9 from the line for Georgia Tech. Trailing by 1.
Boy, really nice job of Howard to give that an early reflection, but Poplar really coming up big for Miami in this last 5 minutes.
How about 7 points in the second half for Poplar?
And it's all been in this stretch, and a lot of that's been turnovers.
Points for Terry, a season high, and the high-flying jam from Smith.
And there's that Princeton offense to get the backdoor cut, the overplay on the wing.
Back to a 1-point difference. Beverly directs some traffic. Shot clock to 7. Poplar checks the line. Angular rebound. Easy run down by Wong. Deflected. Poplar got it. Driving. Look at Poplar. 9 points in the second half.
That's what winning teams do. They have guys come in and you get a lift from maybe unexpected places.
And the guy cheering him on the most has to be Omier, Mike, who has struggled with foul trouble tonight. Out of the corner, in and out on the 3 by Smith. Poplar trying to feed Miller. He hit the deck. Clean play.
Good no call.
Kelly, catch and release.
That would have been a big basket for Georgia Tech. Get him going again.
7.5 minutes to go in regulation. Long got bumped. Looked like Kelly. And so 7:26 to go in the second half. We should be going right down to the wire in this one. between the teams last season. Georgia Tech had won the 3 meetings prior to last year. And this one appears to be a fight and a scrap right down to the final seconds here in Atlanta tonight, Mike Jaminski.
Well, and you credit Miami because they have had, because of foul trouble, to play with some lineups that they probably haven't practiced a whole lot with this year. And they've had their main guys struggle, but have really gotten a lift from other places.
Including William Poplar, 4 of 6 from the floor and 9 points. Isaiah Wong is at the free throw line.
See, and, you know, we talked about Wong and struggling, and that's his 5th point, but 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 steals. You know, pretty good line. You know, some people might have, you know, a lot of younger players might have sulked because they weren't seeing a big basket, but he's doing other things, and still time for him to show up and score the ball in the last 7.5 minutes.
A couple of free throws from Wong makes it a 64-59 game. Largest lead of the night right now for the Canes. Kelly misses again.
Yeah, he just cannot get going in this half.
He's 0 for 7 from the floor in this half, Mike. That's after scoring 14 in the first half.
When Poplar is hobbling around, I don't know, he did something to his left foot.
Shot clock to 10. Trying to get the shot away was Miller.
Well, they got that. They basically played that whole possession 4-on-5. Poplar was limping on the far sideline, was never involved in the play.
So Moore for Georgia Tech picked up his 2nd personal.
And Poplar's still not walking real well. And Omier coming into the game, and Jim Larinaga, if you didn't hear it, said that 2 words for him: no fouls.
Let's see if we can pick up the Poplar contact. He's 55 in green.
Yeah, knee-on-knee contact right there, and he got the worst of it. It was on the inside of his knee, and shame for him because he was having a fabulous half. 4 of 6, 9 points.
So they'll check on Poplar. Miller at the free throw line.
And that's where this game has really turned around too for Miami at the free throw line in this half. They had that flagrant 1 flurry in the first, in the first few minutes.
17 points now for Miller. For Miami. Lead is 6. Kelly.
I like the aggressive move. Chance for the and 1. He gets to that right hand, but more importantly, get to the free throw line, maybe find some rhythm there. Miles Kelly, 85% from the free throw line, so another excellent part of his game.
Still taking a look at that left knee of Poplar. Lead down to 5. Coach Larinaga trying to chase his 710th career victory in 40 years as a head coach. Officially his 39th season on the bench. Four-point game. Long with a quick first step into the paint, tries to drop it off Omier.
So if you watch number 15, Omier, they got Miller up high, but he's just lurking behind that defense. He's going to do one of two things. He's going to make himself available for wraparound passes like that, or he's going to try to get on the offensive glass.
Two for 3 on the night from the stripe, Omier. What a find for this Miami program. Norchad Omier, transfer from Arkansas State. Last season's Sun Belt Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year. Comes up empty on the second free throw. I don't care what league you're playing in, Mike. Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year.
Well, and you know what? Rebounding travels, and it certainly has traveled with him into this conference.
Coleman 3 ball.
Just when it looked like Miami was going to start to methodically edge away, that's a massive 3-point shot to make it a 2-point game.
12 points for Coleman.
Yeah, maybe he's the guy that comes up and helps Terry down the finish here.
Joseph. They find Pack in the corner. Omier high for the board. And he got fouled in the process.
4 white jerseys, and he comes away with it. I mean, it's just how he's got such a great knack for the ball. You know, it's the point now. He's anticipating the ball's going to, and that gets a very friendly bounce for a long jump shot. But, you know, the thing with him, and Georgia Tech's going to need to do this going down the stretch, you have to give yourself up as a rebounder and almost face guard him. Your only job is to keep him off the glass. Your teammates have to pick up the rebound.
Poplar working that left knee. Wants to get back in this ball game.
They never had something like that when I was. They never had a massage gun like that.
15 points, Omier. The other thing, Mike, he's playing with 4 personal fouls, but that was a ferocious attempt at that rebound.
Well, see, he was inside. He didn't have to go over anybody's back to get the rebound. Great take.
Swooping into the mist from Smith. Everything looked good except the finish. By the way, Omier is 6'7", 248 chiseled pounds from Nicaragua. Joseph dropped it off. Mid-range Omier baseline.
Yeah, that time instead of diving, he went out to the short corner and had a good look. They're going to give him that shot, but he makes them pay.
Now it's a 2-possession game. Kelly, too strong. Volleyball out to Terry.
Go at him. See, just, you know, Howard just take a few dribbles, try to get that 5th foul.
And it's Terry with the shot clock winding down, trying to create contact and free throw attempts. 3rd on Wong, Mike.
Yeah, good spin back to his strong hand. And you know what? If you're Georgia Tech, you're hoping that this is a springboard for Lance Terry. And there is that short corner jump shot for him. But for Lance Terry, you know, this would be massive. He can gain some confidence from this game and carry it through the rest of the year.
He's got 21 points now. I'm going to say this after the free throw by Terry, Mike.
Go.
13 for 13 from the line as a team. It's always the safest route in that regard. More importantly, draws the Jackets to within 4. And now 4 minutes exactly to go in regulation. The 29th all-time meeting between the programs appears to be coming down to the final seconds. Wong trying to shake the defender, could not do it. Shot clock's at 3. Joseph.
Really nice defense by Terry on Wong that time to force him to give up the ball and make Joseph take a tough shot.
Coleman rattles out right to Terry for 3. He comes up short.
2 really good looks.
It's now 9 of 24 on 3-pointers for Georgia Tech. They had a couple of great looks at it to cut further into the Miami lead. 55 in green. Poplar, Mike.
Yeah, it's been him in the second half. And how about this? 5 steals for him alone. Most by a Hurricane this season and a career high for him. And they've been, you know, they've been just playing. He's had a couple of ones where he's, you know, kind of shot the gap, but most of them have been right on his guy, off the dribble.
And if he and his teammates can hang on in this one, and we got a long way to go to decide it, but if they can, that would be 8 straight conference road victories, and that would set a new school record, regardless of conference. That would be a new record, 8 in a row away from Coral Gables. Of course, that goes back to last season as well. They're 2-0 in conference play on the road this season. 4-0 overall. Shot clock's inside of 10. Joseph got tripped up through the paint.
And again, boy, that's just a big bailout that time. And Terry's been playing a terrific game, but 4 seconds on the shot clock. He wasn't even looking for a shot, and they're in the double bonus.
First attempts tonight for Bensley Joseph. Sophomore from Arlington, Massachusetts, born in Miami. Not a whole lot of free throw experience this season, just his 19th attempt.
And over these last few minutes, Miami's been leaving a few points at the free throw line. Poplar missed 2. They're right there. They're 17-24 now on the game. Oh for 4 in 2 possessions. That could be huge.
And the lead remains 4 for Miami inside of 3 minutes to go. Also trying to extend the 9-game winning streak. Smith on the handoff. Terry on the move. Spinning on Wong. Hanging and scoring.
And that was about as good a defense as you could play. Wong really had him locked up, but Terry has shown that he can produce off the dribble as well. They've been, denying that 3-point shot, but he's been tough in the paint.
24 points for Terry. It's a 2-point game. Wong could not shake Coleman. Omier, a 3-point attempt, and he's committed the foul.
I'm just and Jim Larinaga can't believe it. 1, an ill-advised 3-point shot. 2, a 5th personal foul on a play that he had no chance of getting the ball. Here's the look. I mean, that was an early long. You're going to force him to do that. And then right there, just get back and save that foul.
Omier had only made 1 3 on the season, Mike. He's only got 2 made threes in his career. And obviously that was the residue of the miss, trying to make a play and knock it away from Coleman. Instead, he fouls him, and he's been disqualified with the 5th personal foul.
And it's double bonus down the other end now, so 2 free throws for Coleman.
So Omier's out of the game with 17 points. Also had 8 rebounds.
That'd be a pretty nice night for most players, and he did that with, all sorts of foul trouble.
The Jackets have tied this game with 2:15 to go. And they are perfect from the free throw line on the night, 15 for 15.
And Josh Pastner's gotten them there with using those timeouts. They've still only got the 1, but they've got themselves tie game with 2 minutes.
Coming back from trailing Miami by 6 in this half. We're tied for the 7th time tonight. Shot clock at 3. Shot clock violation against Miami. Georgia Tech basketball.
Really nice defense, and it really started with Miller, and they played his left hand. You see right there was Terry again forcing him to give that up. And that's what put the shot clock on their back.
Just the 2nd turnover in the half for Miami, and Georgia Tech has the ball and a chance to take the lead.
But you know what? I mean, at least for Miami, it was a dead ball turnover. So now you can get back and set your defense up.
'20 was the last win for Georgia Tech against Miami. Happened here at McCamish. Wong made the defensive play on Terry. It's Smith with the follow, and Georgia Tech has taken the lead.
Oh, how about that? And the thing, too, now, because of this, you're forcing Miami to take some timeouts. So that's helping the cause. A great, good take inside, but Smith has not had a big scoring night, but a huge basket there. And for him, 7 rebounds, 5 assists to go with his 4 points.
Georgia Tech with an 8-0 run to take a 72-70 lead. Last lead for Georgia Tech, they led 52-51, so Miami had taken control of the game, led by as many as 6. They've missed some opportunities at the free throw line.
Well, and the thing that's hurt Miami as well, you've got Omier out with foul trouble, and Poplar with that knee injury hasn't played in 5 minutes either.
Omier is out of the game with his 5th personal just a moment ago after missing a 3-point attempt. Still a productive night with 17 points and 8 boards. But he only played 7.5 minutes in the first half as well, Mike, because of 2 personals in that first 20 minutes.
I'm going to say that he played less than 20 minutes in this game.
Words of inspiration from Jim Larinaga. 12th year as the Miami head coach.
Big drink of water to get past this last minute and 17.
The 72-year-old head coach from the Bronx, New York.
How about some big minutes for A.J. Casey, the freshman coming in.
Just 6 points tonight for Isaiah Wong.
Shot clock has been an issue for Miami.
Canes are 5 of 28 on 3-point tries. They just needed 2 to tie it up. They'll try a 3 with Pack straight away. Kelly high for the board.
Well, you can be real deliberate with the clock right now.
45 seconds to go.
Miami's going to have the ball with a lot of time. Wow, what a time to come up with your first basket in the second half.
74-70, 30 seconds to go. Miami with the basketball. Wong looking for an alleyway. Forces up a 3. It goes out of bounds.
Boy, really nice job of Terry laying off that, forcing a tough shot.
Georgia Tech ball, Mike.
And you got to have the quick foul right here. But here's a look at the play. It's been a tough night for Isaiah Wong. Wasn't able to come up with it. And we talked about the last time they beat a top 25 team. Pretty good timing on it. The 21 ACC tournament championship against Florida State. Come to the ball.
Trying to take out the number 12 team in the nation. Foul. Miller fouls. So Kelly will go to the free throw line.
There's the look, and he's been getting to that right hand. He's just been too strong with it, and big finish at the right time.
18 points for Kelly. And as you mentioned, Mike, his first field goal in the second half on that driving layup.
Still perfect from the free throw line.
Can they stay that way and make the lead 6? The answer is yes. How about a 12-0 run by Georgia Tech to close this one out right now with 16.5 seconds to go?
Well, the runs have been working against them in the ACC so far this year.
Only 16.5 seconds as Joseph picks it up. Spins and fires. Lance Terry ended up with the ball and he got fouled. Now there's only 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's about it. Just a huge, huge mental health win for Georgia Tech.
Pack picked up the foul.
And and I don't, nobody bigger than the guy at the free throw line right now. What a night for him. Lance Terry.
First miss tonight from the line for Georgia Tech.
Still make this and make it a 3-possession game.
Terry is just right now, as he stands at the free throw line, 2 points shy of his career high. Remember, he played 3 seasons at Gardner-Webb prior to joining the Georgia Tech program. Missed them both, and now the last timeout utilized for Miami.
Well, and despite all that, Lance Terry really upset with himself at missing those 2 free throws.
I mean, it's still going to be a steep uphill climb for Miami, but it is a 6-point game. It could have been 8, obviously, with Terry, who's played a sensational game, as Mike referenced.
Well, and, well, and here it is. And this is where he got off to the quick start. And they talked about him getting out on the open floor and running. That's where he found his rhythm. And he really scored at every level in this game, Tom. He's getting inside, made a terrific defensive stop right there. He's been knocking down threes. Very efficient in the game, letting the offense come to him. And he has been really good off the dribble.
Senior from College Park, Georgia. 12 in the first half. 12 in the second half for Lance Terry.
No fouls right here. Guard the 3-point line. Pressure up so you can't roll the ball up the floor. You can see Kelly's right now. He's playing up a little bit. And this more a play to see if you can use this maybe at the end of a game situation later on this year.
They need to shoot it here. There's Joseph. That should do it. Clock runs out on Miami. Georgia Tech 76-70 over number 12 Miami. And they finish the game on a 12-0 run, with Miami missing its last 7 field goal attempts.
A really nice start to the new year. This team desperate for a win, 0-3 up to this point in conference. But